Updog.
Updog. Updog.
Updog Sports Talk.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Updog Sports Talk. I am your host, Matt Miller, joined to me on my current left, I think that is, Justin McGovern.
Yep, I think so.
What's going on, Justin?
Doing good. The NFL season is pretty much here at this point. Our preview series here continues. I'm very excited for this next division. Obviously, Matt, who are we going to talk about?
We are going to be talking about a division that has been dominated for 20 years and now is all of a sudden wide open. Justin, we are talking about the AFC East.
Woo!
First off, we got the New England Patriots, one of your favorite teams.
Ooh. Ooh.
That is my all-time favorite Bill Belichick commercial.
That's because it's the only Bill Belichick commercial.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, this is a different Bill Belichick.
Oh, Billy B. All right. So what you got,
Justin?
Justin?
Catch on, though, did it? Last year, Matt.
What?
This didn't catch on at all. Like Subway tried having Bill Belichick as their spokesman, and like no one still goes to Subway. They're giving away free sandwiches. No one goes to Subway. Subway. We're gonna get to the division preview in a moment, but let's just mention that Subway stinks and is done.
It absolutely sucks. I went there and they got my order wrong, and I literally told them, "Hey, grab that." And then they grabbed what's next to it, and I was like, "No, I wanted that." And they're like, "Well, you're getting this." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm out." So after we're done trashing Subway, Justin, what's your thoughts on the New England Patriots?
So the Patriots are in an interesting position right now. Definitely the quarterback position, we'll get to that in a moment, is looking very interesting. They, as usual, they have a lot of depth at running back. It seems like Damian Harris is looking good. He's going to be the primary ball carrier, it seems. And obviously we have James White, who's been catching tons and tons of passes from the backfield for like 20 years, it feels like at this point. And then now they have the rookie Ramondre Stevenson making an impact in there as well. Sonny Michel, they just traded. Receivers, obviously Jacoby Myers is looking good. They don't seem to have much else, but that offensive line is going to look like a lot to contend with. But the big question, and I'll bounce this one to you, Matt, is Cam Newton or Mac Jones going to be the starter?
So I think this one is the most interesting QB battle of the season, because if you look at the Bears, they're going up against the Rams in week 1, and you don't really want to put a rookie against the best player.
Rams, yeah.
You don't want to put a rookie up against the best defensive player in all of football. The 49ers are going to go probably with Jimmy G, and both of those teams are going to go with their veteran because they know the NFL, whereas the rookies have not had a chance to really settle in yet. This one is very interesting. There's been reports where Mac Jones would be the starter. There's been reports where Cam Newton will be the starter, and then Cam Newton goes into COVID protocol for close contact and is out of the facility for 5 days.
Very bad timing for Cam.
And normally, like last year when Cam got hurt, he was able to come back. He was able to take his job back. But there's reports where if you're not going to be in the building, you're not going to start, kind of thing. So Mac Jones may end up starting just because Cam Newton didn't get vaccinated. And we won't go into the politics on that. We're just going to focus on the football part. I don't think that's right because Cam Newton is still a great starter. And especially with how they develop this offense, they have 3 tight ends. Two of them are hurt currently and should be back in a few weeks. I think the third one got hurt, but will be back soon, like probably before the season starts. They have N'Keal Harry still, and then they have Josh Myers. Defense is good as always.
Kobe Myers.
Whatever. They got the defense got all of their opt-out players from last year back. So this team looks on paper like outside of the quarterback position, they can do it. Maybe not to Tom Brady's standards when he was there, but as far as competing in the division and potentially making the playoffs, they can do it. They just have to settle on what type of QB they're going to use. They can use Mac Jones like they use Tom Brady. They can have for a little bit dump down football until he gets used to the game, and then he can throw it over the top. They can do more of running plays to open up the pass with Cam Newton, but it depends because Bill Belichick doesn't take shit. If like he said that if you're not in the building, we're not going to wait for you. We're not doing this Zoom stuff to teach you an offense. So Mac Jones may end up being the starter week 1.
Yeah, and really for Mac Jones, this team is probably the best one the NFL will land on. I don't know if he would have been successful in any of the other 31 NFL.
Maybe the Rams,
but
because of Sean McVay. But outside of that, like he won the lottery. The Patriots didn't win the lottery. He won the lottery.
But how Mac Jones fits this offense is pretty good because it plays to his strengths. His quick decisions can really make this offense go. And I can tell you, they're definitely not going to announce a starter until they absolutely have to.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing the Dolphins, division rival, a key divisional game in week 1. And you look at it, these two quarterbacks are, like you mentioned, like a completely different scheme to look for. They are definitely going to wait until they have to announce that starter.
Yeah, and like right now, because Cam's not in the building, they're running a completely different offense. So it'll be, if they can't decide by the beginning of week 1, it'll go week to week on who's going to start until they can figure it out.
Yeah.
And
then, honestly, like, well, with most teams, you got 2 quarterbacks, you none, that whole cliche. If you look at the Patriots, that isn't the case, I feel like, with them, because Bill Belichick can do these different things. I mean, they really could enjoy and make an advantage of moving forward with 2 different potential schemes at quarterback.
Well, this is also different than like how I said the Bears and the 49ers earlier, because Jimmy G and Andy Dalton have been backups in their career. Cam Newton's never been a backup.
Yeah.
So like if he doesn't start, we don't know how this is going to go. He could be like I need to play right now, or you can trade me, or I'm going to retire kind of thing. Or he could just be like, okay, well, I'm getting older. It's okay. Like I understand, like do the Patriot way until he can get out of there. But like I don't know how it's gonna go. Like I personally would want to see Cam start over Mac Jones only because Cam has been in the cover, has seen the coverages. He's been there before. Like, but Mac may give you the better chance to win because he's in the building.
Yeah, I mean Cam looks better and healthier this offseason too. So it'll be very interesting to see how this one unfolds. A team that has another rookie, but maybe a less dramatic offseason quarterback race. We are looking at the New York Jets.
Jets, Jets.
No. But yeah, obviously they have been a mess for a very, very long time. I don't even know when's the Jets haven't had a successful quarterback since Joe Namath was there.
I mean, Mark Sanchez was good for 3 years.
They did make the playoffs with him. And actually Mark Sanchez is the most successful quarterback there since Joe Namath.
Yeah.
Now they bring in Zach Wilson, a young guy who was definitely one that was a questionable pick when you consider that BYU hadn't played the best competition, and it's a bit of an entitled guy, but he is going to be the starter for the Jets, and we'll see if he can, defy what's been going on for the Jets quarterback position for years and years now. But obviously they need to find a running back out of a mess of the backfield. The 4th round pick Michael Carter might come out of this, or some guy named Ty Johnson, but they're figuring that one out. And then obviously they have okay receiving talents. Corey Davis might be the best there. They didn't really address it much further than that. And then the offensive line is actually quite okay.
They actually got a receiver in the second round too.
Oh yeah.
But he didn't play. Elijah Moore. So he didn't play this previous preseason game.
Yeah.
And like the Jets are one of those teams where you just kind of figure they're going to be bad until they aren't. The way other outside of the injuries that they have, because they lost Carl Lawson for the year, they lost pretty much half their defense already. Looking at Robert Saleh, he looks to be what they need to turn everything around. Zach Wilson may or may not be the answer, but when it comes to because the preseason game, I was able to watch a second preseason game. We're recording before the third, so we don't know what's going to happen with that. But as far as the second preseason game, him and Corey Davis were on fire. And then add in Tyler Kroft with 2 touchdowns. Like Tyler Kroft at the beginning of the year was maybe going to get cut. And then like coming from Cincinnati, going to Buffalo, and then going to the Jets, like Justin and I not know him personally, but we have seen Tyler Kroft play. We know what he can do and what he typically does. And what he typically does is not what he did the other day. Like it looks like Zach Wilson actually has a good chemistry with him and has a great chemistry with Corey Davis. So I don't think they're going to be competitive for the sole fact that they lost a bunch of really big names on their defense. But his offense may be better than what people think because he was really efficient. He was getting the ball down the field. I think they punted twice with him, but that's going to be typical with a rookie QB. Yeah, like you said, like he came from BYU with very little competition, but I don't know. I think they have the makings to turn him into a I don't want to say a better version of Chad Pennington because that's a bad example, but they could turn him into like a solid QB. I just don't know about a star.
But I'm going to take this preseason game with a grain of salt. Obviously, the Packers haven't really been, they haven't put too much attention to the preseason, not really revealing any schemes, not really playing any starters. I mean, they made the Texans look absolutely fantastic the week before. So definitely, I would say take that result with a grain of salt. That being said, Tyler Kroft likely will emerge as number 1 tight end. There's no other competition there. They need someone to step up. So that is a good development for them. Kroft has definitely been a guy who can get open in the red zone and produce some easy touchdowns. That's what they need. The defense, like you mentioned, is in a tough spot for sure because obviously tons of injuries in the defensive line already. They've lost Carl Lawson for the year. They lost they just lost today. Vinny Curry for the year as well.
They lost their safety for at least a few weeks. I don't think I heard anything after that. But back to your point about the offense, I understand it's preseason. I never look at what teams do in the preseason, but at least from a coaching standpoint, this is going to build confidence for Zach Wilson going into a season where you don't really have high hopes. If they can walk away with 4, 5, 6, 7 wins, it'll be a plus for them. And then they can see what Zach Wilson can do from year 1 to year 2. But right now it's all about confidence, getting him to be confident, finding a receiver for him to be able to throw to. And it seems like right now he has at least 2 receivers that he can throw to. But we haven't seen Elijah Moore yet, so we don't know if there's chemistry there yet or not. So if he can get chemistry with 3 receivers, as long as the offensive line doesn't just open holes and just try to kill him like Bengals offensive line tried to do with Burrow, I think Zach Wilson can be a longer term option than previous quarterbacks.
Absolutely, but we will have to see. He's got a lot of bad history to go up against.
Yeah, but you also hate the Jets, so like you're not gonna really say anything good about them.
Okay, but another team that I'm not going to say any good things about, the Miami Dolphins and Tua. Actually,
Tua what?
The quarterback, but
Tua what?
Tua who?
Tua Tunga Vailoa. It's been a whole thing in the news.
Yeah, it's been a big thing. I was staying away from it. You tried to throw me right into that wasp nest. I was staying out of that situation.
I spent 5 minutes actually saying it to try to get it right, and I think I got it right. Tua, if I did not, if you ever literally just watch this, I'm sorry if I got that wrong. If you don't watch this, then I'm not that sorry because come on. But as far as the Dolphins go, Flores, he's doing much better things than Gase. There was a lot of question marks last year with flip-flopping quarterbacks every now and then. Tua's looking pretty good. We'll see how he does.
This team was one game away from the playoffs, obviously, until my Buffalo Bills with a bunch of backups, not even needing to win the game, beat them by 30 to kick them out. But yeah, Tua looks like he's progressed this offseason. Obviously, throwing guys open has been a challenge for him. So we'll see how that goes. We'll look at that better in the regular season. The running back position is kind of a bit of a question mark. They have Myles Gaskin, who looks like the best one, but they've been featuring Malcolm Brown, who's mediocre at best most of this season. They had Will Fuller. We'll see if he can stay healthy, the booster receiving core. And obviously, they still have Devontae Parker there.
You're forgetting one major one.
And who is
Jalen Waddle?
Yes, the first
he has chemistry with him already, and it seems like he's healthy after that miserable championship game that he was running around in. He is going to be the X factor for this offense to maybe push them that one game further. The question mark is now the defense, because now earlier in the offseason you had what's his name?
Kyle Van.
The corner.
Oh yeah, Howard
Grimes. Xavier Howard. He was wanting to get out of there, and then all of a sudden he gets a contract.
Yeah.
And then they got rid of Minka a couple years ago or earlier last year. It's all a blur now, but 2019. But that defense is if they can just build off of what they were doing, they can probably get into the playoffs. But I mean, they dropped Kyle Van Noy, who went back to the Patriots. There's just some stupid moves.
There's some that's the thing. The Dolphins were on a positive track, and then they made some very questionable moves this offseason. That's one of them. Letting Kyle Van Noy go, cutting him from the team when he produced last year, and knowing that he will go to the Patriots. It was very obvious that he was going to sign from the Patriots the day he got cut. So they just handed a good weapon for the defense of a big competitor in the division.
He was also owed a lot of money, so I think it was to also free up cap space. So that could have played a part in it.
I don't know. Maybe they need to figure out how to play the cap gymnastics better, like some of these other franchises or something.
Yeah, but they're going to have to start paying people, and maybe they have a couple they probably wouldn't have been able to do that Xavier Howard contract without getting rid of Van Noy. If they would have kept him, who knows? Their defense could look a lot different. So I think Xavier Howard is a little more important than Kyle Van Noy. And so, that defense is a question mark. The offense looks on paper to be pretty good. They got the future in their quarterback, and they have weapons around him. They're going to have to try to run the ball a little bit, and will Gaskins be that answer? Will he not? We'll see. But Dolphins are setting themselves up to be in good position.
Yeah, they look like they're in a decent spot. Definitely that young core of the offense with the quarterback and receivers looks promising. It'll just be, how's the rest of the team look is going to be the big question for them, and figuring out whether they can contend for the playoffs or do they make a step back in this division. Mm-hmm. But up next, the previous division champions, my favorite team, the Buffalo Bills.
No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Definitely as a Bills fan last Last year
Calm
was
down there, Justin.
obviously way too exciting. I was obviously very excited to talk about it, but definitely the best run the Bills have had in a long time since the early 90s, making it to the AFC Championship game. Obviously, now the questions are definitely how they had a few questions this offseason to find a way to not only keep winning the division, but also try to find out how they can challenge the Chiefs to win the AFC. Two glaring weaknesses came up: the running game and the pass rush. So Bills didn't really address the running game, but they were hoping the young running backs can step up. So far, I was live, boots on the ground for the preseason game against the Bears. Definitely, there's not a whole lot you can draw from it, but I will say that Devin Singletary looked pretty good. He was making guys miss, just made them look absolutely foolish on a 4th down touchdown catch. That is a promising development. We'll see how it transitions to the regular season. As we know, obviously, we got Josh Allen, the franchise quarterback, major extension this offseason. He's looking pretty good. And probably one of the deepest receiving core in the NFL, with obviously Stephon Diggs leading the way, Cole Beasley in the slot. Manuel Sanders is at this offseason to help add to that receiving core. Gabriel Davis, the former 4th round pick, he stepped up in the playoffs, and he looks like, I actually think he'll take over as number 2 receiver at some point this year. There's also speed threats from Isaiah McKenzie. And then Aaron Rodgers' favorite guy, Jake Kumaro, is also in the mix. But yeah, so definitely an exciting offense. The offensive line needs to step up a little bit. Guard is a bit of a question. Tackles are looking okay. But obviously with the defense, the pass rush so far also has shown up this preseason. The 1st-round pick, Greg Rousseau, has looked amazing so far. He made Penei Sewell look foolish.
Everyone's made Penei Sewell look foolish. He's not had a good camp.
No, it has not been a good preseason so far for him. But Rousseau also looked good against the Bears. He looks like he's adding a new threat to the pass rush. Former 2nd-round pick from last year, AJ Epinesa, he wasn't playing too good last year, but is looking better this year. Obviously, you got Jerry Hughes and Ed Oliver still looking good up front. Matt Milano,
you don't have to go through player by player. We get it.
Yes. But this defense is looking strong. Obviously, the secondary is also going to look good. Just few question marks. And Matt, what are your questions about this team?
The fact that they're looking at $1 billion, I think it was like a $2 billion stadium in Orchard Park is also a plus sign. It means everything's headed in the right direction. I have them as candidates to kind of compete for making it to the Super Bowl. Whether they can win or not is up to Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I knocked him when he got drafted. I knocked him in his first season, but he's made he's definitely took the step each season that he was supposed to take it to the next level each time. So this is his time to shine. He has a brand new contract. We'll see how that goes. Like you said, Singletary is looking pretty good on the ground game. Let's see if we can keep that up. Otherwise, they're going to have to focus on the pass game. And if they focus on the pass game, they have the receivers to do it. Defense, they do have the pass rush. Linebackers are a liability. So that zone cover, if they do zone coverage underneath, they could get torched every time. They could just dip and dunk football all the way down. Secondary looks really good. So they have a similar setup to the Rams, but the Rams have an older quarterback. That's kind of the difference.
Yeah.
So, it's the Bills' division to lose. They do look really, really good. But they also have to try to get through the Chiefs. They also have to try to get through the improved Titans. And we all know what happened in the Music City Miracle against the Titans. Could we see another one of those in the playoffs this year?
Damn it, Matt. Why would you bring this evil to this show? Get out of here with that.
What do you think is going to be the division outlook?
So obviously, you know who I'm going to pick first. The Buffalo Bills win the division again. I have them taking the AFC East. Second, definitely the Patriots will rebound. I see them in second place pretty easily. Dolphins slip back to third. Jets in a distant fourth.
I actually wholeheartedly agree with you on all of that. I think it'll be a lot closer between the Jets and the Dolphins and the Patriots. I think the Patriots will end up getting like 3 or 4 wins to kind of pull away from them. And then I don't think that they will be too far behind the Bills. I mean, the Bills are going to run away and win the division pretty easily, but I think with what the Patriots have done, they can gain a little bit of ground back, but not necessarily to win the division. So I agree with you in the order. So it's going to be an interesting season. It is nice to see a different team at the top now. Now let's see if we can get some of those bottom feeders up in there to get a couple of division wins. So, got anything else, Justin?
Go Bills.
All right. Well, on that horrible bombshell, we'll just go ahead and end the show. See you guys.
See ya.